Hey guys, my name is John, and I wanted to make a quick video of my experience with a hiatal hernia surgery with a Nissan. I think it's called a Nissan fundoplication. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but essentially what they do is they go in. You have a hernia that is protruding through your stomach lining that goes in basically into your esophagus, and so they have to push that back down, and they take your stomach, a portion of it, and they wrap it around your esophagus to stop acid and food from going up into your esophagus due to acid reflux, aspiration. The reason I chose to have the surgery was for the last 2 years, I kept getting reoccurring pneumonia from aspiration because the hernia was that bad. I would lay down and I couldn't sleep flat. I had to sleep in a recliner for the previous 2 years actually. So I decided to move forward with the surgery just because I really had no choice. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I have honestly watched probably today. This is day 2. So I had the surgery yesterday. And today I spent a lot of time watching videos, just trying to figure out a lot of different things. You know, what can I eat? What can't I eat? Recovery time. And the reason for that, God forbid this happens to anybody, but I'm just going to share my experience with you so you at least have something to go on, because I know you're probably doing the same thing. You're watching these videos like, can I eat this? Can I eat that? And everybody's different. I think you need to understand that everybody has a different experience. Everybody recovers differently. Everybody has a different pain threshold. And so I'm going to just take the time to share what I went through on a personal level. So the original surgery was supposed to be what was called a Linx procedure, where they take a magnetic band and they wrap it around your esophagus, and that actually allows you to eat food where the magnets they stay closed like this, and then when you eat the food they open up and then they close again. And that was the original procedure that I was supposed to have done. I live in Florida, and in the process of doing that, I got at the hospital at 6 a.m. Prior to the day before. I was told that I needed to take 2 showers with this shampoo that was supposed to, make sure that I didn't have any infections, clean my body off real nice. And so I was told to arrive at 6 a.m., which I did. I get there and start signing some paperwork. I signed off on paperwork that apparently had me agree to saying that if the Linx procedure didn't work, they would do the Nissen procedure, where they wrap your stomach instead of the magnetic band. And so I wasn't aware of that. However, they went in to do the Linx procedure, which they told me after I woke up they weren't able to complete it because they didn't have I think a big enough sleeve to cover my esophagus. They said my esophagus was too big, so they had to basically go in and pull that out and redo the whole procedure. And so, not what I expected, but they did what they had to do. I think the total time of the procedure was about 3.5 hours. And when I woke up, I was pretty disoriented. They gave me, some anxiety medicine. They gave me Dilaudid for pain, and I woke up and really kind of forgot where I was at. It was pretty groggy. When they do the Nissen procedure, they really want you to be staying overnight versus the Linx procedure, which you go home that day. Well, I called my insurance company, and that was not covered under my plan. Those are things that you need to check on to make sure that you're not going to get stuck with a big fat bill. So, needless to say, I told them that I was not comfortable with, staying the night. I wanted to know if it was going to be okay if I went home, what were going to be you know, the risk involved, tell me what I need to know. So they had me wait around a couple hours till about 4 o'clock. I drank some apple juice. I drank some water. I've been drinking water all day. I really haven't been in a ton of pain. I did not fill my pain meds even. I've been taking ibuprofen, which seems to be working well. And so, they sent me home at 4 o'clock. I got home and I continued to feel pretty decent. If you can see, I will show you. They did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 incisions. And, the ones on the left hurt the most. I think they said they tighten those the most. So if that feels like that's what's hurting, that's probably why. That's where they go and I guess do the most work. Also, too, they fill your entire body with like gas to blow it up so they have room to maneuver the utensils and tools. So when I woke up, I had I'm sure you're going to hear this in every video. You have extreme shoulder pain, really hard to take a deep breath without feeling that pain in your abdomen and your shoulders. It's the gas trying to come out. It's really important that you walk around to avoid blood clots, to avoid just getting complacent. Those are things that you want to do to just keep everything moving forward, right? And so I think my biggest concern, and I'm going to address this is kind of a side note, but I've just such a crazy experience. So I mentioned that I was originally supposed to have the Linx procedure, and they changed the procedure mid-operation. And so while I thought that's what I was having done, when I went to go home, they gave me my discharge paperwork. This is actually a spirometer machine, which is really good to use. You suck air in, and it kind of like helps your diaphragm. It helps you kind of get your lung capacity back. And I haven't had any acid reflux, no mucus. I've been really, really feeling pretty good. I mean, it's been nice. But here's the crazy thing. So I get my discharge paperwork, and I'm going through it, and I wake up today, and I'm trying to figure out, yesterday I knew I was on a liquid diet. So today I was trying to figure out, what can I eat? Can I eat anything? Because I really don't remember a lot about yesterday, because when you're on anesthesia, when you're on pain medicine and all that stuff they put you on, for me to be able to remember was really difficult. In fact, my doctor never even came to see me post-op. He called my father-in-law, relayed all the instruction to him, and he really didn't tell him a lot either. So it was very strange. But when I started going through my paperwork, the first page kind of goes through the instructions, discharge instructions. As you can see here, on the second part that's highlighted there, it says resume home diet. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, I can just eat whatever I want. And then if you go to the second to last page as well, back here, it also says that in this box they check off, it says regular diet as tolerated. I'm not sure if you can see that. But in my mind, I thought, you know what? Okay, so even though they changed the procedure, I can just kind of go with the original plan. And, I didn't eat anything crazy. I started off with a cup of coffee. And then I had a piece of toast, which you got to chew your food a lot. You got to remember to be very intentional about chewing your food a lot. Break it up into really, really fine pieces. And it's kind of pointless for me to tell you that when I'm about to tell you what I'm going to say next. Then I proceeded to have a banana. I bit into the banana, which is very soft. It's kind of a soft food. And then I took a second bite, and I went to swallow it, and I choked. And I had a panic attack. I had to kind of pound myself in the back. I just slammed my back off the wall, and then it came out. And thank God it came out. My wife was at work. My 2 boys were at school. I have a 3 and a 5-year-old. But when that happened, I started to really question and wonder, what was that? Like, why did that happen? Is there something wrong here? So I called the hospital, and I said, hey, I was there yesterday for a surgery. I was just wondering, what are the restrictions of my diet? And they said, oh, well, you're supposed to be on a liquid diet for 2 weeks. Then the second 2 weeks, puree diet, which would consist of like, mashed potatoes, just soft foods, yogurt. And then the fourth or 4 through 6, I guess, consist of, just like bland foods, like, kind of like what I said, a banana and toast. So I had that the day after because I was given the wrong discharge instructions. And I think that's absolutely insane. I'm not sure how that happened, but it did. And so now I am back to just basically drinking water. I had some applesauce today. I've been drinking Boost shakes. And to be quite frank, I'm not even sure if that's allowed, because when I got off the phone with the lady at the hospital, she emailed me what I couldn't have, and only weeks 4 through 6 showed up on the email. So, I mean, that's why I started watching all the videos, because I was just trying to get people's different experiences. What were they doing? I mean, there was one guy, he said in the first week that he was, after the first week, second week, he was eating pizza. And I'm like, how is that possible? You know what I mean? So that's why I say everybody's different. I'm not encouraging that. This is in no way, I should have said this at the beginning, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. But what I am telling you is to make sure you ask the right questions, and make sure if you're unsure about something that you kind of double check into it, because God forbid that I wasn't able to get that banana out and I had choked. I mean that would have been awful. As far as the pain tolerance goes, my abdomen is slightly in some pain, but I mean, I feel nothing in my esophagus. I think the biggest mistake that I probably made today, outside of the banana, was I took some pills. I took 2 ibuprofen, and I'm just used to like throwing 2 back, so I threw 2 back instead of 1. And it kind of felt like they were lodged there. And then I took 2 turmeric pills, which also probably wasn't a great idea because of the acidic nature that they can bring on. But needless to say, again, it was an interesting procedure. Just making the video so you're not in the same position where you're kind of watching video after video after video, trying to look for the person to say the right thing so you feel comfortable enough to do whatever it is that you're looking to do. So in 3 weeks, I'm supposed to go back and see my doctor, which will be quite nice because I didn't have a chance to speak to him. He honestly poked his head in, said, how you feeling? I said, pretty good. And then he left. And then he just kept sending different people in. And I really, again, I couldn't tell you what they said, what they didn't say, because really, I don't remember much. And then when I called my father-in-law, they told him nothing about my diet restrictions. They just told him that they had to do the other procedure versus the Linx. Now, the Linx, again, as I said, you can eat normal the day after, but not with the stomach wrap. So here we are. But I'll check back in. Again, I wanted to make the video just for the sole purpose of maybe providing somebody with some sense of comfort, knowing what you're walking into. Depending on your circumstances, I really am hoping that this will put me in a position to just be able to live my life normally. Having I've had pneumonia 8 times in 2 years. So many ER stays, just so many awful trips to the doctor, so many just costly bills. So you got to know what you're dealing with. You got to know why you're doing what you're doing. And I think when you can kind of, come to a sense of peace about, moving forward with it. It's a good thing to do. It's just a matter of doing what they say, because if you choose not to, you're going to put yourself right back in the same position where you may need to have the same surgery again. You may have a setback. You may cause additional problems that you don't want. For example, something I really didn't think about but made a ton of sense. I mentioned I was drinking those Boost shakes. They're 11 ounces. One person had mentioned that drinking like a half a shake, wait 30 minutes, drink the other half, because the bloating in your stomach could really hinder the, just kind of the curing of the wounds, which is, makes sense. You don't want to be putting too much in there to hinder that process. Another thing is too, going to the bathroom's been pretty steady. Have not had a stool that I've been able to pass yet. Obviously, I haven't eaten all day yesterday. Ate just a tiny bit today. Probably gonna have to go get some stool softener just to make sure that everything's kind of digestively moving along. But overall, I didn't. A lot of people think it was awful and it was really painful, and that may be your experience, but for me personally, I have a pretty high pain threshold, and it really hadn't been that bad. So I wish you all the best, and again, just be very attentive, and especially with stuff like just even the discharge paperwork. I couldn't believe that a mistake like that could be made at a hospital. It just seemed very hard for me to comprehend, so much so that I just felt like, is this something do I need to call like an attorney? Is this medical malpractice? Like, I would never want to do that. I'm a youth and family pastor for a living, and I can have grace and mercy and compassion on people. But man, that was a mistake that, it could have cost me my life. If we're going to be realistic about it. Fortunately it didn't, and I can move forward. But just take what you want from this video and utilize it however you feel like you need to. But ultimately, I would encourage you just to call your doctor if you have any genuine concerns or deep questions. And so I hope that this does help you. I hope that you will get some relief out of knowing that whatever it is that you're experiencing pre-op, post-op, you're not alone. It is a situation that somebody else has probably been in. But again, the more we share, I think the better off we are, because then we have a better understanding of what to expect and what not to expect. But again, for me, I think my situation was a little different than most who go in preparing to have one thing done and then have another thing done after the fact. So remember to stay hydrated, drink your liquids, and that's what I got for you guys. So God bless all of you. I hope this helps you. And if you have any questions, I'll probably make a follow-up video in a week, just to kind of let you know where I am with the healing process. I'll make a video after my follow-up with my doctor, and then we'll go from that point forward. So you'll do fine, and it can be life-changing for you. One thing I mentioned that I struggled with having a lot of phlegm and mucus buildup just from the hernia, which the hernia presents so many problems that I don't think a lot of people realize. I was iron deficient from gastro bleeding, just so many things that I was unaware of that were being produced by this hernia. And so having this surgery for me was kind of a no-brainer. But I'm super thankful I did it. And for now, time will tell kind of where the recovery process goes. And again, as I said before, I wish you the best, and I hope this video helps you, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you feel like doing the same, I think it'd be greatly appreciated by a lot of people, because I know there's a lot of stress and a lot of tension and anxiety that follows when you do something that's life-altering. It's a life-altering procedure. So don't think that you're stranded alone on an island and nobody understands. So thanks again for watching. Have a great night. Stay hydrated.